What's up, everybody? It's your favorite mumble rapper's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Star Wars Black Series Darth Nihlus. And the reason why I say that is because I was a PlayStation guy, right? Until Knights of the Old Republic came out, and I was like, well, I have to play it. So I got an Xbox. And then I remember when the posters and kind of marketing rollout material was coming for Knights of the Old Republic 2, which is where this character stems from. And I was like, whoever this guy is, I'm all in. I'm all in. The design is too cool, too wicked. And then I played the game, and while he is still cool and wicked, he also like just has this language that's kind of stupid. I was expecting like a super cool voice, like in the history of Sith Lords having super cool voices in Star Wars, the Emperor, Maul, Vader, pretty much everyone but Dooku. And instead I got whatever he was doing, which was dumb. But always loved the character design, happy to add him to my dark side shelf. But in order to do any of that, we gotta look at the figure, and in order to do that, we gotta start with accessories. He comes with this lightsaber. It's a red translucent blade. It disconnects. It disconnects nice and easily, too, I might add. The hilt itself is painted silver with some really tight black line work done, and is done on a base black plastic. And looks good. Decent enough sculpt as well. He'll hold it, but it's not the greatest fit. It's a little loosey-goosey in there. Same for the other hand as well. Now we'll talk about the figure. So I will say that I was a little disappointed with how long the mask was. I feel like the proportions of that are a little off. Like the forehead is slightly too big and should be compressed a little bit. Like the curve here should come down a little lower. I know it's nitpicky. I'm just saying, to me, it throws it off just a taste. Otherwise, I like it well enough. The head is on a ball peg connected to a disc hinge. You don't really get much back because of the hood. You get a little bit forward. You do get the swivel, no real attitude. And there is a face sculpted underneath there. I'm not sure how I feel about that as well. I don't hate it, but I'm not sure if I ever considered him having a face underneath there. Just like this, you know, well of darkness. Anyway, a lot of people hate this mold or tend to and are switching him with the Kylo body, with the soft goods. And I don't think that works. I get what people are doing there, but like his robes work raggedy and the Kylo suit doesn't look raggedy. And so I wouldn't do that personally, but if you like it, you win, obviously. But it does bring us to the cape, and the cape does leave a lot to be desired, and it just looks like skimpy. You know, I don't know why you would go with a skimpy cape. You should go with a nice Vader cape. We know that you're capable of making a strong kind of impression when it comes to capes, and you should have done it here. I'm guessing a lot of this is like retooled Maul stuff, but it doesn't mean that it's not good. So let's kind of continue. The cape leaves a lot to be desired. It should have just been bigger. Otherwise, I'm kind of okay with it. I would have preferred if it was ratty as well, but I understand why they wouldn't do that. All right, so we have a single ball peg from the chest into the abdomen, and it works really well. Nice movement around, teapot, swivel, good bit forward and back. No issues there. We have a disc hinge for the shoulder. That gets you up a little bit past 90 degrees, down and around for the 360. We have a bicep swivel where the elbow plugs in. The elbow is on a single hinge, gets you 90 degrees. Then we have sculpt work done. We have this like ribbed suit, not unlike kind of Vader's pants, but just wider stripes and nice wrinkles sculpted in. And then the gloves are glossy and the boots are glossy, which is nice. Breaks up all the kind of just black on black details. And the belt is glossy as well. The belt does not have anything to hold his lightsaber. You know, I think that's a bummer. If he has a lightsaber, he should have a ring on his belt to hold it. All right, 2 holding hands, which you also know I think is pretty stupid if you're not going to have extra accessories or extra hands. So that's how I feel about that. Wrist swivel, hinge up down on this hand and hinge in out on this hand. We have these soft plastic robes that are attached to the belt. I like the sculpt on these. I like the ratty, torn up stuff. It's very indicative of the character to me. Then we have T-jointed ball joints for hips. Get you out to there. It gets you forward and back to there. You get a thigh swivel. There is like a texture sculpted on these pants, like a digital sculpt that is decent enough. And then we have double jointed knees. Works well enough. Nice sculpt on the boots. Ankle tilt up. ankle tilt down, and where it plugs into the foot, you get a rocker. So the articulation is pretty much status quo with the older Black Series from like the Maul era. And basically, we just have some retooling here and, you know, a skimpy cape and a new head sculpt. But I think it's actually pretty successful. Let's look at him in his natural environment and do a size comparison. There he is with Luke, so, you know, it's going to be a shorter mold because of what it's based off of, you know, it's fine. And there he is in my Sith temple. Yeah, starting to look good, all fleshed out, Mac. Yeah. I answer this all the time just because people ask me all the time. This was some Shapeways kit I got of Darth Talon and painted it up and put it on the shelf. It's fine. It's nothing crazy. But, looks good. Final thoughts wise, let's start with the negatives. The first and foremost negative that stands out like a sore thumb is that cape, especially when we know that they're capable of making stop it. Especially when we know that they're capable of making nicer capes. We know this to be true. A lot of retooling parts here, but I understand because this isn't a Luke Skywalker. You know what I mean? This isn't a Darth Vader. This isn't a clone trooper. This isn't something that's going to appeal to a wide group of Star Wars fans. This is a niche thing for niche fans. So I understand taking shortcuts in order to produce it, and honestly, I'm surprised at how many shortcuts they didn't take. My other criticism and or complaint is if you're going to have a lightsaber, you need to have a place to hang it on the belt. We're seeing this left and right now, all over the place. One time is a mistake, multiple times is a habit. They need to get ahead of that. And then my same thing with the hand issue, you know, that's just always going to be a thing with me. If they're going to have two holding hands, they need to have different hands or different weapons. It just always makes these characters look so silly. Positives wise, I actually have a lot to say. This is one of those characters that I never expected to get an official version of. Just, it's too obscure. When they did Revan, I was like, maybe, but he's just so far down the line. But to get him, I think is a blessing. And the fact that they did do a lot of alterations to his cloaks, and they did give him different arms, and they did kind of spice him up as much as they could, I think that we should probably be grateful for this. Now, that's not a Stockholm Syndrome sort of response. And I know people are happy with the Kylo buck, but I think he looks pretty good. I think a new cape on this guy and you're gonna get away with him. The articulation is fair, it's status quo. The sculpt work is fine to well done. You got different variations of black plastics to give it a little sauce. You got soft goods. It's a decent head sculpt. And at the end of the day, we got a Darth Nihlus figure and it doesn't suck. And that counts for something. So I say definitely pick him up if you're a fan of Sith Lords or a fan of the games or a fan of this character. Speak with your wallets. Support the obscure. It definitely beats, at least for me, getting a ton of troopers and Mandos, which is what I feel like that's all we're getting these days, and doesn't do much for my excitement. This at least gives me some excitement. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.